and kind of give you a background. If you're not familiar or you're new to the podcast, tell you a little bit about myself. So I'm a combat controller. I'm an active duty combat controller still. I've been serving for the better part of 25 years now. I came in when I was 17, and I went through the old pipeline. So the pipeline that you're familiar with now, or that if you're new, that you'll be intimately familiar with, is a new or a fairly new construct since 2019. Me coming in '99, we had NDOC, and that's when pararescue men and combat controllers went through NDOC together, which subsequently ended a couple of years after I left. But uh, that doesn't matter. So that's kind of my background. And then I've had numerous assignments from Florida to North Carolina to the United Kingdom to Las Vegas, Nevada, Washington State near Tacoma, and then so yeah, I've been all around. Been doing this for quite some time. I'm one of the old folks that are out here now. But one of the things that I did to prep, because that's one of the questions that we get a lot, are how are we preparing for the pipeline, or how are we preparing for SWIC and basic training, or SWIC is the Special Warfare Candidate Course, and then ANS, or assessment and selection, and then everything else that follows the pipeline. There's a lot of different ways that you can prepare. I played sports my entire life, primarily soccer. I did wrestle for one season, but I don't even count that because I wasn't any good at it, and I didn't last very long. So, but I definitely ran cross country. I did a lot of soccer, so a lot of team sports. But one of the things that you need to be able to do in order to be successful within the pipeline is run. It's an endurance game. You got to be able to run. You got to be able to have good grip strength. You got to be able to knock out pull-ups, push-ups, sit-ups. I know that there's a debate on whether we should even have sit-ups and push-ups in the pipeline, or at least maybe as part of the test. You know, I don't really have an opinion on it necessarily because I haven't done any analysis or research into it, but it sure is a good punishment tool, or a tool that is used for getting better. And yeah, getting better. We'll just keep it like that. So, but one of the ways that you prepare for the pipeline, though, is that you do what is going to be expected of you in the pipeline, be it you're going to have to run, so run. You know that you're going to have to ruck, so ruck. Same with swimming, pull ups, push ups, sit ups, all that kind of stuff. All of those things that you're going to have to do in the pipeline, you need to do in preparation for it. Now, there's different programs and stuff like that that you can follow, and that's great because there's some really good ones out there. But if and I'm saying this based off of somebody who had a decent amount of foundational muscle. Now, granted, I wasn't extremely muscular at all. In fact, I was 145 pounds, I think, when I went in, and then I ended up losing weight during basic training because I wasn't eating very much because I wasn't used to having to eat quickly. But so I didn't have a great deal of foundational muscle, but I had something to work with. So I didn't really have to hit the weights in the gym and do strength training too much. I would say if you are somebody who is relatively skinny and doesn't have any kind of foundational baseline muscle, then maybe you do need to do some weight training, but you're not going to need to do deadlifts. You're not going to need to do um, you know, trap bar deadlifts or anything like that. Now, I am always going to recommend squatting because squats do a body good, regardless, and they help your entire body. And I know that the argument could be, said for deadlifting, but man, if you're not doing deadlifting right, and personally, deadlifting does not feel good on my back, and since it's not something that is generally required in the pipeline, I'm just not going to do it. But weighted squats and a whole lot of air squats are going to be required. Rucking's going to be required. So a lot of things that are you know going to be difficult on your legs and fatigue your legs, you're going to have to do. So as we're talking about that, also time on your feet. That is something that is seemingly a generational problem now, but it is something that you need to be cognizant of, is because we do a lot of sitting these days, and that's everybody, to include myself now, are doing a lot of sitting. And when you're in the pipeline, you are on your feet all day long. And if you're not on your feet, you're in the push-up position. That's that's what it is. Or you're in the pool swimming, or maybe you're lucky enough to be sleeping uh, in those really nice beds that all the cones have. But you need time on your feet. I, it's an insane amount of mileage that you put in every day, and if you're kind of shocking the body to just get out there into the pipeline in basic training and then go on to this, you're not setting yourself up for success. So when you find yourself sitting on your ass at work or at home, maybe sit on the floor and do some mobility, or standing up. Like if you're not in a situation where you get a chance to stand up, then work on mobility or do something like that, just to get up and move around and be on your feet. Um, Now, going back to the rucking part, and I know I'm bouncing all around everywhere. Again, this is my first time doing this on my own, so I don't have Aaron and Trent to bail me out. But rucking is not necessarily something that you've got to do weekly. Now, you're going to do a lot of rucking in the pipeline, but rucking right now, depending on how long until you roll out and ship out, I wouldn't ruck more than twice a month personally, and I definitely wouldn't go over 45 pounds. You don't need to go throw on 110 pounds and go rucking. That is just going to destroy you, and it may even injure you, and then you're screwing yourself. But 45 pounds and go out once or twice a month for 6 miles. If you want to do a long excursion, maybe do 10, but I wouldn't do any more than that. I really wouldn't, because one, it's not going to help you as much as you think, and you just run the risk of hurting yourself, and especially because maybe you don't know how to wear a ruck. You don't know, you're supposed to wear a ruck and have the weight in the ruck up high, kind of on your back and really close to your back, instead of low and on your lower back. That's just a better way to carry a ruck and carry the weight in a ruck. So that's why I say that. And I think you'll find that most people would agree with that. But again, I'm not a personal trainer, I'm not a developer. So, you know, take that for what you will. But the way I prepared was I just ran a lot, I swam a lot, I did a lot of pull ups, push ups, sit ups. And that's really about it. I didn't ruck because I didn't know what rucking was. Um, I capitalized on opportunities in high school to, again, continue to play soccer, but then cross country, because I knew that I was wanting to come in and do this job. And so I ran cross country, and that got a lot of time on feet and it got a lot of miles. So that helped. So I was planning ahead in terms of that.